subscribe. Tariq Radio. Watch and subscribe.
Let's get Inika. Let's get Inika in here. Inika? Miss Inika, hop on in, ma'am. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, Miss Anika.
Yeah, you got it right. Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you, Anika. How are you?
Good, good. I'm so shocked that I woke up and was able to catch you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, you did. What city you in? You in Louisiana?
Yes, sir. I am in Louisiana
What part?
by by way of originally California native.
Okay, cool. So what's on your mind, dear?
Yeah, so I kind of agree with you had said something about I think a tether had said that we were a nationless um, group.
Yeah.
I kind of agree with that in a sense because we are the only ones that have been aggrieved but not repaired.
Mhm.
And so that's why the Japanese, the so called Jews, and everybody else have gotten reparations because they've had a nation standing behind them, and we don't.
Yeah. Ma'am, they give resources and repair to LGBTs. They're not a quote
Well, that's
nation.
true. That's
They're not
true.
a nation. You there? They don't have a
Yeah,
nation backing them, so they can give a repair to anybody they feel like it. We have
that's
to,
true.
yeah, we have to press the issue. You see, the problem is whenever we press the issue, we've had a bunch of tethers in our mix running up, acting as our damn spokespersons. You see,
That's that's
you
true.
see,
And
right?
they've never looked at us or considered us as human beings. We've always been considered and looked at as property.
Hmm.
So why would you give your property, reparations?
Well, the same reason the property made them give up them damn civil rights because there was an ass whooping waiting on them in the streets. Yeah, you see, sometimes you just got to stop playing games with people. In the '60s, we stopped playing games. I want people to understand. In the '60s, it wasn't John Lewis and them getting beat up in Selma that made them laws get through. It was the
Oh no, I agree. I
yeah.
mean, my dad was a Black Panther for a short period of time in Oakland,
Hmm.
and I remember him taking me to the free breakfast when I was a little kid.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so
So yeah, when and even the free breakfast program, see, that was the threat right there. That was a bigger threat than the Black Panthers walking around armed. And by the way, because when the Black Panthers were out here in California, when they were armed, all they did was just change the law. They said, okay, y'all can't. We got a new law in California since the Black Panthers figured out you can walk around with guns. We just put a new law in. You can't have guns no more open. You can't open carry no more. So they just changed the laws, but it would be hard to change the law to say you can't feed people. That was the biggest danger when they were going around feeding the black community. See
absolutely,
that's nation building right there. You understand?
yeah,
So they
yeah, I agree.
yeah. So we're
Now, in terms of when you mentioned about if we were to all up and leave, we wouldn't need to all up and leave. All we would need to do is at least, I would say, at least 40% of us stay home and not participate in the voting scam. The whole system would collapse like a house of cards.
yeah. Yeah, and I agree 100%. A very small percentage of us sat out the last election, and that made them collapse to a certain degree. Just imagine if all of us did that, it would be a major problem.
Oh yeah, I mean, I sat out. I stopped participating in their scam years ago after I saw who Obama was. And so I checked out. I was like, I'm not participating in this circus anymore.
Hmm.
But it did shake them a little bit. But in order to just completely collapse the game, enough of us would need to sit out
Oh
and
yeah,
not participate, because the only thing that's holding it up is faith and hope
yeah.
and our energy. and once there's no faith left in the U.S. system and the U.S. dollar, which is already crumbling, then the whole thing collapses.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. But thank you so much, beloved. I appreciate you. All right. Let me see who we got. Y'all raise your hands. Ladies and gentlemen, raise your hands because we got a lot of folks up in here. We got a lot of people up in here, as we always do. Okay, who's this? Tariq Tether. Okay, you got Tariq Tether. You got my name in the mix. All right, what's up, Tariq Tether? What's going on, Tariq Tether?
Sure, man. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
I
How are you?
changed that. Good. You hear me all right now?
You're a little
I was,
janky.
so,
You're a little janky. What's
yeah,
going on
yeah.
with your phone?
Well, I got the AirPod in, but I'm truck driving and whatnot, so it can be messy a little bit loud. I got two friends in the chat here or in the space. We constantly talk about the topics that you present. We debate and things like that. And I'm happy that you let me up. I got a question that's a kind of umbrella towards everything that you talk about. But if you want to, I could also touch on some of the things you mentioned, like the Asians not being in the news for their crimes and things like that. I always looked at that as something as espionage crimes and things like that. So it was like higher degrees of crimes, so they would keep it quiet to whatever do their espionage thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they always throwing recos on us. But yeah, they don't never
Well, I
they don't
mean,
put no
yeah.
recos on them like that.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do what you're saying. I suppose, yeah.
Oh, yeah, well,
But
okay, brother, your
you know,
phone. Yeah, I can't really. That phone is real bad, and I don't. It's kind of if it's hard for me to understand, it's going to be hard for the audience. So if you get to a better phone, I have you call up a little bit later. But yeah, that I can't do that to the audience. We just can't have a janky phone crumbling and scratching. That ain't gonna work. All right, let's raise your hand. What's up, Miss Strella? I see my sister Miss Strella in the building. I see Miss Strella in the building. Let me see. We got let's get Ann Wheezy Will. Let's get Ann Wheezy in the building. Brother Ann Wheezy. Ann Wheezy, unmute that microphone, brother. If you can. If you can unmute that mic, that would be phenomenal. If you are on a there you go.
Hey Tariq, how you doing tonight, bro?
I'm good. Wheezy, how are you, sir?
Good, good. I just I accidentally hit the talk button on accident, but what you said tonight has resonated very much with me.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Go ahead.
Um, I do feel the system kind of depends on us. If we lose hope within the system and just stop voting, what's the rest of the world going to start looking at white supremacy for and be like, well, if they're starting to see cracks, what are we not seeing that their black citizens are seeing, that they're like backing out?
Yeah.
And from there, the dominoes fall after that.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
But yeah, I'll let my plane there.
Thank you. We got to really understand our importance and our significance. We got to understand that, not just here, but globally. Understand globally. And people, whatever we do, there's always all eyes on us. The other day, speaking of that, I was talking about the streamer, the guy IShowSpeed. IShowSpeed is a real big, very well-known streamer, and he's known internationally. He's over in, I think he's in China now. And he draws large crowds, and I think he was tapped in with the gaming community, which is large, and then he got tapped in with the soccer community, and that really took him on a whole different level. Them international soccer fans, he got tapped in with that, and plus with Speed, some of his antics, some of them a little stereotypical, and he's doing something with a lot of his clips. I think they're staging a lot of racial incidents. I think some of that shit is staged. Where like he's over in China and Chinese people are walking up giving him like a bucket of chicken, and he's acting, oh, what is this? and somebody walked up to him and gave him a handful of cotton. So I think a lot of these things are staged in order to create viral content. I really think a lot of that stuff is staged. And I think he understands, Speed understands the racial undertones and why a lot of people watch him because, well, let's be real. And he's a young dude, but eh, this guy, a lot of the support he has from the dominant society, a lot of it is based on stereotypes. With the Speed guy, he displays a lot of exaggerated, emotional, and wild behavior. That's kind of tied to the whole Sambo narrative, you see? And they like that. And then he kind of plays up into it. It's like the spectacle of controlled chaos. They can laugh at him, but they're not really laughing with him to a certain degree. When he have meltdowns and outbursts and embarrassing moments that go viral. Also the infantilization, because yeah, I Show Speed gets treated like a child by his fans, even though he's a young adult. So he comes across like a real big kid. And then there's this encouragement of degradation where he's egged on to perform these weird, degrading acts like barking and reacting in over the top ways. That's kind of minstrelly to a certain degree. And I'm not trying to say that to denigrate the brother. And I want him to get his paper, but it gets into a little Samboing. The dominant society, they love somebody who's a grown person who acts like a big old child, and they have him doing flips and weird stuff, you see. And there's like an exotification of his blackness, you see. And then the little racist jokes, he's the kind of guy who will allow them to throw racist jokes at him, and then he'll feign um upset, like he's upset about it, you see. And he's always placed in situations where he's confused, uncomfortable, or unaware of what's going on. So he's being laughed at, and he kind of plays into it, you see. So, a lot of people can kind of tokenize him. They'll treat him as the funny black guy. He's a self deprecating, funny black guy. He ain't really talking about no social justice issues. He's not challenging anybody's anti-black notions or any systematic anti-black racism. He's just basically the butt of the joke, and he's the token black guy. When people in the dominant society can say, "Hey, I got a black friend," he's that black friend. You see, it's real interesting. You see, it's very, very interesting. And they encourage ignorance. They have him say things in other languages where he don't really understand, so he's being laughed at by saying racial stuff in other languages. So it's a real weird dynamic. I like to see the young folks get paper, but you got to be careful out here not to fall into the stereotypical traps. Let's get Ant CEO in the building. Ant CEO, hop on in.
What's going on, Flex? You hear
I
me?
can hear you, brother Ant. How are you, sir?
I'm good, man. I ain't been up in a while. I
It's
just
been a
wanted to speak
minute.
to the.
Yeah, we heard from you in a minute.
Yeah, I've been sitting here listening. I just don't be going up like that. So I wanted to speak on the whole speed situation thing. So first off, he a clown, man. He a young dude, and I kind of know a little bit more than most people. I see a lot of posts on Twitter, people talking about, he not our lineage. He's from Portugal. He's not from Portugal. That's a part of the troll stuff because
Yeah,
he's a Ronaldo fan, and Ronaldo plays in Portugal. So that's a whole nother thing. If you don't really understand it, you ain't gonna. If you're not really into that streamer stuff, you ain't gonna really understand where that come from. But he is the definition of a sellout. 100%. He'll sit there and yes, all that stuff is all fake, but that don't make it no better. His
right.
his cameraman name is Slips, And it's already been put out there. They do that shit on purpose. Now, obviously, people when they go to these countries, like they go to Colombia, I think he went to some country, let a dude grab his ass, all type of weird shit. But
Yeah,
he is the definition of a sellout. And unfortunately, the younger generation gravitate towards that shit. I'm 27, so I'm a little younger, so I probably know than probably a lot of people that's older would know. But yeah, he's the definition of a sellout. I mean, it got to the point to where he's so unaware. I know you know who Kai is, Castanet.
yeah.
Castanet is a Haitian, has half Jamaican dude. Speed had went to New York like last year, and he was in a gas station or like a little store, and the dudes in New York was telling him to throw up a gang sign. He's so unaware, he throw the gang sign up, and Kai had to call him like, dude, don't throw no gang sign up, you tripping. And he
Lord.
genuinely did not know. So he is the definition of somebody that's uneducated, that's young, that's probably gonna regret a lot of the shit that he's doing right now. And he's the definition of a sellout, a young sellout that'll do anything for fame and attention. So I just wanted to just
Yeah,
speak on that.
I saw he was down there in South America, and one of them
Was
Brazilian
grabbing his
dudes.
ass.
Yeah, no, somebody put their finger in his ass. Somebody like,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't just grabbing. Some dude stuck his finger in his ass. I'm like, what the hell? The hell is this shit? I'm like, come on, they buck breaking this dude, you know? So yeah, it's man. I hope dude, just becomes aware of what's going on. You dig? It's interesting. All right, let's get Cool Breeze Steve. Cool Breeze Steve in the building. What's
Yo, what's going on, fam? How you
I'm
doing?
good, Cool Breeze. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, fam. Just hanging in there.
Oh yeah, what's on your mind, brother?
Not much, man. Yeah, man. That's a really good point. I seen some people, like when I used to work overseas and stuff like that. Um, Dudes be out like in some of these other countries, be like, what I'm saying, like sampling up or whatever, especially, trying to impress like other cultures and everything.
Oh yeah.
You, you know what I'm saying? So, but man, that's really on point, man. You're bringing a good point. And I just wanted to kind of bring up one more thing before
But what your
one more
dog,
point.
brother? What is your dog barking at, bro?
Sometimes you be barking at people walking by and stuff like that. Sorry about that, fam.
Well, who's walking by this time of night?
So some of the people, some of the neighbors be out getting in their
Bro, are
cars
you
and
in a
stuff like
trap house and that's the trap house guard dog, brother?
that.
Like that dog barking at crackhead customers. Who's out this time of night, brother?
I don't know, man. I know some people be getting in their cars and stuff like
That's a
that.
drug
So
sniffing dog, and that dog it smells a kilo up in the living room somewhere. Good Lord, that dog is feisty.
yeah,
Man, what city you in, by the way,
yes, man.
brother?
I'm actually in Las Vegas, fam.
Oh, shout out to Vegas, man. Shout out to Vegas. I had a great time when I went up there a couple of months ago. Yes, indeed. But anyway, man,
Yes,
I appreciate you, Cool Breeze. Thank you so much, brother. Where that dog? Get that dog some peanut butter or something. 40 acres. What's up?
What's up, Tariq? Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you, brother. You in a truck?
Yes, sir. You keep me up at night.
Oh, my man. I appreciate that. What city you headed to?
I'm out in the Chicago Midwest.
Oh,
My family's from Arkansas and Mississippi and Memphis, Tennessee. My mama was born in Memphis, Tennessee.
well, love that. Love that. How long you been driving trucks?
About 5 years
Oh,
after I left
oh,
college.
cool.
Yes, sir.
Cool. Well, much respect to you, brother. Thank you so much. Let me get RJ, the Democrat shield, in the building. Let's hear from RJ.
What's really good, Tariq?
Man, everything is good, man. Living my great FBA life. What's on your mind, RJ?
Thank God, thank God. I just saw that, Trump wants to run for a third term,
Mhm.
and he wants to run against Obama.
So is Obama
What do you think
running?
about that? No, he says he wants to open up, he wants to twist the Constitution, and Trump wants to twist the Constitution so he can run for a third time, and he wants to do it against Obama.
Oh Lord, yeah. That's not happening. He's not running, or Obama, they're not running. So
No, but if that was the case, who do you think would win?
probably Trump. Yeah, Obama's, they're done. They're done.
Nah, nah. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. With the way Trump is going on right now, by the end of 4 terms, he'd be toast. No one will want any more austerity and
Dude,
demagoguery.
y'all ain't reading the room, brother. The DNC, you guys are not reading the room.
Are you living under a rock?
Dude,
Everyone is dog walking
no,
Trump
they're not.
on every
No,
internet
they're
platform.
not. The Democrats are punching air. Trump has sunned
Trump is
Trump
crashing the
has sunned
economy.
y'all, man. Trump has sunned the shit
Trump
out
is
of you
crashing the
guys.
economy.
Dude, Trump
This
has
whole
ain't nobody
war.
the
You
the
heard of the
scare tactics ain't
you heard
working.
of the war? No. You
The
heard
scare tactics ain't working, RJ. Ain't nobody buying that. The Democrats ain't it ain't working, bro. Y'all lost bad and you're still losing. And it's not
no one wants to invade Greenland. No one wants to invade Canada. The stock market is crashing. If Obama comes in, he'll come in like LeBron. He'll come in like James Harden. He's gonna freaking ball out on Trump.
hold on. Let me see. Hold
So
on. Just hold your horses one second. Let me see. Slam, hop on Slam.
Top of the morning, young man.
Hey, how you doing, Slam?
top of the morning.
I'm doing pretty good. I had a question for you, T. What is it going to look like now that Trump and his cabinet is attempting to, from what is being said, he's talking third terms.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that now the Constitution does not allow for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Roberts isn't on his team
Oh,
when it comes.
Can I just say, only Trump can say something like that, and
No,
it's not
I was trying
controversial.
to talk to Mr.
No, but I just wanted to put a
It was the
nitpick that
host asking
only
because
Trump could say something wild like that.
talk to him real quick because he limited on his
There you
time.
go. Okay.
The host
Go
is.
ahead, Slam.
So, where was I at? Oh, um, so what do you think that could potentially look like? Not what will it look like, but what do you think that could potentially look like?
But they're not going to do. I mean, you would have to go through Congress, and a lot of people would have to sign off on that, and that's not going to happen. Trump says stuff to kind of rile up the Democrats, to troll them, to mess with them, to have them running around and doing what RJ is doing. Oh, the sky.
It just galvanizing
Right,
citizens.
right.
There's a constant galvanization of
Yes, it
it.
is. He does the sky is falling, and the Democrats fall for it. They take the bait and run with it, and
You do know that Republicans are running away from their own constituents at town halls. They don't even want to talk to their own conservative voters. So what are we talking about here? They're crashing out. They're burning. No one wants any Republican hand in anything.
yeah, that ain't true, sir. That's not true. The Democrats are just done. That's why the policies that's out here, the immigration, ain't there's no outcry. There's no real outcry.
Let me tell you a slogan. Let me tell you a slogan on the left right now. The slogan on the left is "Do nothing and win." So basically, let the Republicans crash out, and we'll win.
Yeah, how's that looking so far? How you lost by a
Very good,
landslide.
very good.
You lost by a damn
No,
landslide, and you ain't got
no, very good. Because
who's going to run in the next election for the Democrats? Y'all don't even have
I'll
nobody.
tell you what,
RJ,
we can
who's
throw
going to
in,
run?
we can throw in a
Who's
scarecrow.
going
We
to
can throw in a
run
scarecrow.
for
We
20?
can throw in a scarecrow, and we'll win.
Okay, who's the scarecrow?
A scarecrow's a scarecrow. We can
Nobody.
throw in a
You
scarecrow,
nobody. Y'all
and
got
we'll win.
thank you. You got nobody, sir. Y'all don't even have a viable candidate, sir. Y'all lost so bad. Y'all gonna have to I guess y'all gonna have to do a weekend on Bernie's and wheel Biden back out. Y'all gotta do something. You guys are done. Let's get Shannon. Let's get Shannon. Shannon, hop on in. Is Shannon? Shannon? You can unmute your microphone, Shannon. That would be great.
Sorry.
There you go.
I agree with you 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the polling on CNN, MSNBC, CNBC. How are the Democrats polling?
Horribly. Mhm. Horribly. The Democrats are not doing what they're trying to make it seem. The Democrats are done because we're not messing with them. Black society is not messing with the Democrats. They're toast right now. And we're not letting them manipulate us. And thank you, Shannon. We're not letting them. Only time the Democrats talk about racism is, and I've pointed this out a gazillion times, The only time they talk about racism is when they can project it onto to the Republicans and Trump. That's the only time they do that. Whenever they talk about racism, they never talk about the racism within their party. They try to just dump it off on Trump and the right wingers, and we're not going to let you do that. You're not doing that no more. You ain't doing that no more. You're not just going to dump it off on them. You're going to have to own up to all the racist garbage you've been doing. And this whole blame Trump for everything, that's corny. And it's a scare tactic. Did y'all see the clip I put up of that chick? I think this might have been, I think it was an old clip from probably Trump's first term. I'm not sure. But this chick, she's a Democrat shill. They call her Professor Crunk. And she's always saying bonehead, idiotic bullshit. She's a big plantation mammy feminist, real big backed. And the clip I posted, it was so damn stupid. She was like, yeah, people be talking about black women being overweight. You know, we have to deal with Trump's policies, racism. We can't diet the same. I'm like, did you try to blame Trump for your back being big? No, no, no. See, this is the goofy, ridiculous nonsense the Democrats do now. They just say dumbass stuff. They push these idiots out here to misrepresent us, saying bonehead stuff. The Professor Crunks and the Jasmine Crockett's. They got her running around acting all hood radish, trying to misrepresent us. That don't represent us. All of her shenanigans, that shit does not represent us at all.
Rule work tonight. Rule work tonight. Rule work tonight. Rule work tonight. I'll be feeling so right. I got that root work tonight. Feeling fresh from the morning light. Root work hit me, I'm set for the night.